Connectra creates opportunities for people living with disabilities by providing information, resources, and programming geared towards greater inclusion and quality of life. Check out some of the programs we offer through our online learning platform, Connect Together, including our Service Mondays, where we highlight a local organization or initiative, Wednesday Chair Yoga with Bobby Seal-Kobisky, Thursday Adapted Fitness with Megan Williamson, Friday Rotating Dance Classes hosted by Janice Lawrence and Joanne Cuff, and other initiatives including presentations by the Disabled Independent Gardeners Association's Growable program and our Perspective series. Check out our updated programs calendar on our website, connectra.org, or find us on Facebook at Connectra Society.
Okay, you guys can start.
Okay, thanks. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the presentation on the Wildlife Toolkit. My name is Alice Pan, and I'm the project coordinator with the Disability Foundation's Youth Leadership Initiative. It's our honor to be here today and talk about the Wildlife Project and the toolkit that is about to launch. And during this section, for information, feel free to leave your questions in the chat or unmute yourself at any time to ask questions. Max will monitor the chat throughout the session. And for those who will be viewing this presentation later, please email us at wildlife@disabilityfoundation.org if you have any questions, suggestions, or feedback about the Wildlife Project and the toolkit. I would like to begin this meeting by acknowledging and giving thanks to the Indigenous land we are all occupying. Max and I are currently streaming from the city of Vancouver, which is situated on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territory of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh nations. I would like to request a moment of pause for all of us to think about the land we are on and its history. We respectfully acknowledge and recognize the relationship that the First Nations, Inuits, and Métis across Canada have with the land all Canadians live on and enjoy. Please join me for a moment of pause. Okay. To kickstart this presentation, I would like to give an introduction of ourselves. Again, my name is Alice, and I graduated from University of British Columbia, majoring in marketing. I joined the Disability Foundation back in October 2020, which is the beginning of the project. I am very passionate about this project because I was also once a youth with disability who were facing barriers when looking for my first job. So I was thrilled to hear about this opportunity because I want to be part of the solution. My role is to oversee the project operation and all the marketing and communications related to the Wildlife Project. And we also have Max here today. Off to you, Max.
Thanks, Alice. As mentioned, my name is Max. I also started with Wildlife in 2020 in fall as a co-op student. I used to go to SFU and I graduated with master's in political science. And since 2020, I think the project has come a long way. We've produced a report which is accessible on our website. And now we are ready to present first phase of the toolkit as well. And my role is mostly related to all the research activities within the project. And today we're excited to present to you the toolkit that we've been working on.
Thanks, Max. Next page. Before we talk about the Wildlife Toolkit, let's just briefly go over what the Wildlife Project is. As mentioned, the Youth Leadership Initiative is a national initiative aiming to support employers and post-secondary youth with disabilities in their career journey. We identify post-secondary youth as people between the age of 17 to 29. And our goal is to help these young people break down employment barriers by offering the Wildlife Toolkit as the solutions to the barriers. And since 2020, the entire team has been working diligently on the research as well as on the toolkit creation. And in the next 15 minutes, we will talk about how this toolkit can help young people with disability navigate the workplace and how it can help employers looking into ways to support their employees living with disabilities. Next slide.
So what is a toolkit? The toolkit is essentially a multimedia online research hub in which we provide guidance and tips on how to break down employment barriers. And the toolkit has a various range of resources that can have different resource types in terms of we'll provide videos and sort of text articles, as well as possibly other means of getting information to you. And also it includes various range of topics as well. And so the employment barriers that we focused on in our research were the attitudinal barriers, and they include lack of self-confidence, high perceived discrimination, and high performance expectations. We found that all of these in one way or another affected job chances of youth with disabilities. And hopefully with the toolkit, we can help to break down those barriers.
Max, that's still yours.
Oh, okay. So, and also one of the things that we did to sort of try to work on breaking down these barriers was the advisory committee. In the advisory committee, we invited various professionals from different fields to sort of help us navigate these issues. And the people who participated were either professionals in the vocational rehabilitation or people working in some sort of transition programs or academics that study issues with employment for youth with disabilities. And the things we talked about are going to be incorporated in the toolkit as well.
So who is the toolkit for? As mentioned, the toolkit aims to serve one, youth with disabilities who are facing barriers when transitioning from school to workplace, and two, employers who are looking for ways to make their organizations more inclusive and accessible to employees with disabilities. Next slide. And when would they use the toolkit? We recognize that transitioning from school to work is challenging, and post-secondary students with disabilities have to face multiple barriers compared to their peers without disabilities. So we hope this toolkit will provide advice and tips to young people when facing hurdles in gaining and retaining work. The hurdles include building self-confidence, coping with stress at work, dealing with discrimination, disclosing their disability, asking for accommodations, and much more. And to help young people navigate the issues at their own pace, we have provided a lot of self-help tools from coping strategies, time management apps, and also building confidence, like tips and tricks, etc. And also we have and community and government programs are also included in the toolkit. One example is a list of organizations that support people with disability in acquiring assistive devices. And for employers, we hope that this toolkit can support employers, especially those who might not have time or resources. By providing this one-stop database, they can easily find the resources or guidance to help them to help their employees, like going through all the employment hurdles. And this toolkit is also a platform where we will share information to bring awareness to certain topics. One example is universal design, a concept that might be familiar within the disability community, but not necessary among the employers. Next slide.
So the benefits of using the toolkit in our mind is that we seek that this resource is dedicated to youth with disabilities specifically, and specifically young people who are either in the post-secondary education right now, or people who have finished the post-secondary education, because we feel like that group is a bit understudied in a sense, and like there's as much advice to that group in comparison to, let's say, people who finished high school, for example. And as mentioned, we include various types of resources in the toolkit, and that can range from, some sort of legal guidance in the sense of like, if you're feeling discriminated, you can sort of look at the toolkit and see what are available options to you, and what are your rights if you're facing this kind of situation. Also practical advice, like if you need to ask for sort of like how can you disclose your disability and when you should do it, and maybe ask for recommendations from your employer. And also it's ease of use in terms of that we try to have all the necessary resources in one place, and if you need to sort of deal with a particular sort of issue, hopefully the toolkit can help you with that.
Where can you find the toolkit? Our web page is ylitoolkit.org. And to ensure our toolkit is inclusive and accessible to people with disabilities, we also, the YLI toolkit and also all our websites across affiliate societies, we have implemented SSB. It's a feature that allows us to adjust our viewing settings. So, for example, there is high contrast for people with vision loss, or stop the animation to reduce distraction for people who have hard time focusing. Next slide. And how to navigate the toolkit. Here is the screenshot of our web pages, and Max, would you mind to share the web browser so that we can have the real-time viewing of the web page? Thank you, Max. So this is the first peek at the Wildlife Toolkit for those who are watching the presentation. This is our homepage, and from down there, you will see there are two ways you can just to go to different pages of our toolkit. The first section is up on the top at the navigation bar. Just go to participate and go to Youth Leadership Initiative. And down there, you will see here the Wildlife Toolkit with all the pages. And the second option is there will be a sidebar on the right-hand side of the page. Let's go to building self-confidence. And for this setting, we want to ensure that this layout works best for first, for people who have different accessibility need, and two, to make sure we have the best viewing experience for both mobile user and also for desktop browse user. And under each subtopic or the barriers that we have explored, you will find there is first a little section of how we derive how we came up with these solutions. Of course, they are all based on our advisory committee. They have provided us with a lot of recommendations and also a lot of tips and tricks. And from there, we'll brainstorm and come up with all these solutions, as you can see. And you will see there are two buttons on the page, youth and employers. We want to, and so all resources are youth or employer centric, so that we want to make sure you can just have a one easy click and we'll get to the resources that you want based on your roles and your need. So let's scroll down to the page. Just click on maybe youth or yep. Yep, that's perfect. So these are a few resources that we gathered just to help, just to hopefully that can inspire young people like how to build self-confidence. And that may include maybe joining some social activities, having some kind of hobby, group activities, etc. And also some of our advisors also recommend that finding a peer mentor or a mentor would be a good way just to talk to would be a good way as well. All right. And Max, can we go back up there? And let's go to the navigation bar, back to navigation bar, go to the toolkit. Okay, thank you. As you can see, we have different barriers that are listed there. That includes like how to cope with stress, like disclosing your disability, and etc. This is the first phase of our toolkit, so there are more topics to come. Just in addition to that, you will see there are pages with additional resources. For example, the diversity, equity, and inclusion. Can we click on that? Thank you. This is okay. This is a section where we have curated a few glossaries online that we really hope that this toolkit, other than providing resources to young people, we hope this toolkit can also be a place for education, to share information. And if we feel like we want to start a conversation on diversity, equity, and inclusion, and there are some things that we are not clear about, or some terms that we don't know about, this will be a good place to go to, because there are two different glossaries from university and also from government. And from there, it will give us the meaning of the term as well as like the context and how to use it. This is a tool where we hope that can help people to it's a good reference tool for us to start DEI conversation. In addition to that, let's go back to the navigation bar. And let's go to the toolkit under career tips. And under career tips, we will constantly add more resources and more information as we find like throughout our process. So if you find, so just stay tuned. There will be more additional career like tips, especially tips that can help us transition from school to work. All right. Thank you, Max. Okay. So FAQ. So Max, what are some questions that might come up?
Yeah, one question that can come up with multimedia resource hub like that is that some resources may get outdated, and my question is whether Toolkit is going to be frequently updated.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. We recognize that this is a common issue with data or resource hub. So not only do we have a dedicated team to add new resources and constantly update the toolkit, our advisory committee will also regularly meet and revisit the toolkit to ensure all content is current. The next question is, when will this toolkit launch?
So Toolkit is going to launch in June.
That's right, on June 13th.
13th, yes, in next week. That's when we're gonna launch the first phase, and you can find it on our website at toolkit.org, and also we are welcoming any feedback and any questions that you have about the toolkit. So you can find us at all the social media listed on this page. And you can also email us at disabilityfoundation.org.
Yeah, thank you, Max. And I want to especially highlight on the TikTok channel. It's YLI_2023. It's channel that we dedicated for youth with disabilities. This will be a community where we hope to share our lived experience and also some career tips and tricks that we came up throughout our career journey. Right now, we just finished our series on the Meet the Team, and there will be more exciting materials coming up. So be sure to follow us on TikTok. We will be releasing weekly videos. So see you there. And thank you so much again for having us here. And this is the end of the presentation, and we are happy to answer any question. Yeah. And again, you can find us on our wildlifetoolkit.org. There will be a submit feedback form from there. Please give any of your comments or feedback would be greatly appreciated. At the same time, we are constantly updating our toolkit. So if you have encountered any resources that you find might be useful for others, please send them our way too. Again, our email is yli@disabilityfoundation.org. So thank you so much for this opportunity, Connectra, and everybody who might be watching this presentation later.
Yeah, we don't have anybody on this call, so
Okay,
nobody will be asking questions for now.
okay.
But yeah, if somebody sees it on Facebook or YouTube, they might have questions, so they can email it to you.
Yep.
So if you want, we can end the call.
Sure.
Yeah, very nice. Hopefully, we'll see you again.
Thanks, Kusar.
Yeah,
Sure.
thank you
you.
so much.